Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man Bad Chad and Queen Jolene's on the camera. We're back at the Bugatti. I'm going to take some advice from the people threw in some comments. Jolene said there was a lot of comments saying about the water pump. I should have some gasket maker on there, or some gasket sealant. So I am going to put some on. I thought about it, and when I took the water pump off, it didn't seem like it had anything on it. It was quite dry. The gasket come off nice. So basically that's what I did, is put it back on. But I really feel like to take the extra precaution, I'm going to put some gasket maker on it, or alter gasket. I guess it's called gasket maker. The gasket's there, but this is going to make it tight and right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the water pump back on. What it says to do on the instructions, just so that we're all clear, it says to put it on and wait, let it dry for an hour, and then torque it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this gasket sealant. I'm going to put it on. I'll put it on like I did yesterday with the air wrench there. I'm not going to zonk it on, and what I'll do is I'll come back an hour or two later, and then I will torque it on, so we're at the right, I guess, I don't know, the right to make it seal, I guess. This is not my forte, but I am learning every day. That rhymed, didn't it, baby? What? Not my forte, but I'm learning every day. So I'm just going to take and open this bad boy up. Cut the end off her. We'll put a little bit of sealant on each piece. That's what I'm thinking. Alrighty. So I'll put my glasses on. So I had to take the water pump, or the power steering pump, back off. And what I'm going to say is this is how cars are built. Do something, take it back off. Do something, take it back off. Do something, take it back off. That's basically how I build cars. And if you do not, well, you're better than I am. What I've got on this rag is some Spray 9. It takes off oil, wax, and grease. I'm just going to wipe this down, wipe it off so it's clear, free. Free. You can see how it come off there a little bit. Let's put a little bit on, man. Just going to put a little bit on. Okay. I don't think it matters if I wipe it on or not. That's not it. Let's do the water pump itself. I could spread it over with my finger, but what I'm thinking is when I torque it on, it'll spread it. Don't want that clump. There, saying we're good. All right, back to doing it again. I went and got a couple bolts for the outside of the water pump. So I'm just going to knock this on with the air wrench, and then I will torque it down in an hour or so. That's what it says on the instructions. Hard to believe I read them, but I did. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to put on the fan. I'm going to have Jolene help me, probably, no doubt in my mind. We're going to put on the fan, and we're also going to put on the radiator. So you're going to see what's going on. There was a video I did on the radiator. Everything on this car I have either made or fabricated to make it work. Everything. When it comes time, when you see the radiator go in, you'll see how the radiator, when I put the radiator in, the bottom spout hit directly on the, rack and pinion. And I had to change, I need a couple washers here. I need a couple washers. That's what I want, a couple washers. I'm going to hit these with some paint after with a brush. When I put the radiator in, you'll see that the bottom spout hit the rack and pinion dead on, and I had to do something there, and I modified the radiator to make it work. Also, the radiator that we are using is a radiator for a 6-cylinder Jag. That's what it came out of, and that's what I'm using. So I used it for this project also. Every bolt is started. I'm just going to walk it on with the air. This is just a small ratchet. It hasn't got much torque to it, but it's got enough to put it on. I have a nut down here I have to put on. We'll start in the center, because I usually start in the center on everything. We'll start in the center and put them ones on, and then we'll walk around and do the outside ones. Not torquing it on, just tighten it up. We'll torque it on after. So, hour's time, we'll come back and we'll torque that on with our ratchet. We'll tighten her up, just clean any dirt off it. So we're back in place. We have got the gasket in it. We've got some gasket sealant in it, gasket maker, whatever you want to call it. We've got that on there now. I have taped off. I'm going to have to get Jolene to help me again, and hope that she enjoys helping on her car, because why not? Hey, baby? Jolene looks amazing today. I'm going to get her in the video again today. Got some tape on the threads just because it's hard to nut something up when you have the threads covered in tape or paint. So I got them taped off. With the ones that are with a nut that's inside the chassis or inverted, like there's a nut inside there, we put earplugs in them. That's what we do. We squeeze some earplugs and we shove them in the hole so paint does not get in the hole to mess up your application of your bolt. And I learnt that from the powder coaters. Because when you powder coat something, You're looking for trouble when you can't, when you powder coat the hole and you have a bolt that go in, you have to tap it and do a whole bunch of stuff. So let's screw that back in. So we're going to put the fan on. Now the fan and the radiator, I had quite an issue. For distance. So you're going to get to see what's going on. I'm going to put the radiator or the fan on and then put the radiator, and you're going to see the distance that I got, and you're going to see the problem I had with the power steering pump sitting here, the outlet coming down to the radiator. You're going to see the issue I had, and everything I've done to this car I've either modified or fabricated, and I had to do what I had to do to get it done. And that's what I always do. Alrighty, I've got the bolts here. I'd like to have, or nuts here, I got the nuts here. I'd like to have lock washers is what I'd like to have. I'm gonna put this right here. Should have an end to put over that. Get that all painted up, nice and red. And I did not pee to bed. I did not. I don't know if those will fit or not. I think these ones will fit, I guess. It's a hard go sometimes, having the right bolts and nuts and washers and all that sort of stuff. That's the bad boy. Alrighty, I'm going to get Jolene to come in and help me. What I'm thinking is that we're going to have to hold the fan and put the nuts on as we go. So, there we go. Alrighty, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Do you want to put the nuts on, or do you want to hold the fan?
It doesn't matter.
You got small hands.
Okay.
Okay, it's a lock washer, then a nut. All right, do you want to go on this side?
Yep.
So if they can see what's going on, I'm sure you can see what's going on. All right, try to put the nut on and the washer on now.
Together?
Yeah, you might have to. I guess we can shove that one on in ways. Two fingers?
Yeah.
Hold your tongue right. Guess that'll hold it on. Get one?
I think so.
See? Yep, looks like it. Good job.
Seems like really, ouch.
It's going to be hard to get on because it's got the lock washer holding you.
Okay.
Is it? It's cross-thread, not cross-thread, is it?
I don't know.
Let's try another one. I might be able to get it first. Now that it's on there, you can just take the camera.
Okay.
You on there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's not going to fall off now. You can take the camera if you like, probably. I don't mind. Shh. I got an issue just getting the washer on. Looks like the right size. Come on. Ah, I got it on there. Yay. That went on? Yours went on okay, did it, sweetheart?
The second one did.
This first one didn't?
It just seemed like the thread was tight.
Okay. Okay. Two-finger apply. Awesome. Now, this is the first one you put on. That one's on there good. Man, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna have to tighten that with a 1/2-inch wrench. Nope. I hope I didn't put them back. Nope, right here. Now, it's going to take a minute or two. I'm going to have to do a little bit on each to get it. It's got a just going to do a little bit on each one. That way there's a shaft there that the fan goes on. And then we get it on there straight, not crooked. That's what I'm thinking. Kind of excited to put the radiator on it to see if everything works, because when I did it, nothing was painted, nothing was finished, rack and pinion was not on. I kind of did it all within a little bit of a guessing game going on. I held the rack in place with, I think, not sure if I had the rack in place or not. I just have to go back and watch, I guess. And it's pretty cool too, because we can go back and watch. Because it's all there. I pumped the airbags up in the back of this car, and it does not go very high. The bags kind of squish out, like they kind of get bigger instead of taller, which is, I guess, real when you think about it. So I might end up getting a little taller bag for the back. I'm not sure yet, because we're sitting fairly low. Just gonna go over it a little bit, make sure I get her on there. Now I can torque that after a little bit. Now we're on there with lock washers, nothing's coming off. Hopefully. Actually, I'll tighten that up after a bit. I'll make sure everything's tight and right. I'll go over every nut and bolt before I take off on this bad boy, before we get it going. The water pump has to be torqued on after let it set for an hour. That's what it said on the instructions. We've got the fan on there. I can put the power steering pump back on, but it would be in the way of doing things. You've seen that yesterday, that's no problem. All right, let's put the radiator on. We've got the radiator painted. We've got a couple bolts there. So there's a cross member here, just a piece of round stock, going across from frame to frame. And I've welded a bracket on the radiator. When I got looking at it, I was thinking, well, if the bracket ever broke, the radiator would fall out of it. And not thinking like, I don't think the bracket's ever going to break. I mean, it'd have to rust off and fall off. But I was looking down here. I have a gusset on this side of the chassis and a gusset on this side of the chassis for the lower control arms. They've got holes drilled in them. I could make something that goes across there to just lay underneath that radiator to make sure it does not go anywhere, as I was thinking about that earlier. But I'm going to have Jolene's help doing the radiator. Now, if I recall right, that fan is going to be about, it looks like it's kind of sitting up a little bit this way. I cut a new shim or a new mount for the transmission, and I did not know if it was the right distance. I cut an inch and stuck it in there. Did not know. I couldn't find the old one that I had cut from before, but it could come down a bit in the back if it has to, because that mount in the back could be too tall. The engine's sitting nice though, it's sitting nice. It's got a little, probably, it's supposed to be 3 degrees back is what I'm thinking. And I guess what they're going for, the 3 degrees back, is that the oil runs back into the back of the oil pan into the sump. So the oil has somewhere to go. If it runs level, well, whatever. I have the radiator painted. I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to get Jolene to screw in the bolts. So what's going on here? This is the front of the radiator, obviously. It's going towards the engine. I'm just going to, well, let's put it on. Don't have to untape it or nothing. Let's just put it on. I'm going to grab a hold of it. We've got it nicely painted. I'm just going to grab a hold of it. All right. Peel off the tape after. So this was a radiator out of a, you're going to have to get your, just give me, everybody wants to paint everything on the top. The top of the chassis to look really good. But the top of the chassis, we're not even going to see. As I'm putting my knee on the bottom of the radiator, that's where we're going to see, is like that sort of stuff, So them bolts right there, just pull them out. And we're going to put them in these. I got a bracket welded on the side of the radiator. It comes over across here, and I've got a fixed nut inside there, which holds this radiator on. And what I was thinking is I never had anything underneath for the radiator if anything ever happened. I don't think it's going to rip that off unless it broke the radiator or something like that, but this is where we're going. So this is a used radiator that I used to make it happen. All right, you're going to come from,
Inside.
Yeah, you're going to come right from there, I guess. And it's going to be hard to hold, but see the bolt? See?
Yeah.
Just screw it in. Want to go the other side? Screw it in. Just screw it in all the way if you can.
It is.
Okay, screw the other one in. All right. Now, there you go. Alrighty. That now, would you? Now I'm going to get, I want to hold that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. Now, as we take a look at this, you can see when I spin the fan how close it is to the top. That now, would you? Not sure if that comes out, or you can see how close that is to that. Right here. Ooh. Not sure. So this is the top outlet. I don't know why it's so small, but it is. And I'm not sure if the radiator stands up straighter like that or what it does. And also you can see how down, I got this aiming up. That's pretty decent actually. Now that I have that aiming up, that's not bad. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to let it go for here for a second. I'm going to get a ratchet and tighten that up. Or tighten. Now, just going to tighten it up a little bit, the radiator, tighten it up a little bit. Did I just hit that? I don't remember hitting that, do you?
I don't know.
Okay. Now, that's so close. Everything's so close. See, the radiator can be brought up a little bit. So you can see how close we're down here in the rack and pinion. You can see like we're just quarter of an inch away. We've got the fan, just, wow. Wow. What am I gonna say? I think that has to come back like that. It's good though. This spout here is a lot smaller than this one. Not sure why, but it is. We're not hitting it. That's the good thing. When it comes in the car, when the radiator goes down in the car, there's just ever so slight on the front of the car where it comes down on top of the radiator. This fits right in top of the inside of the car, and there's two cutout spots. I even burnt the filler on the car to get that down over top of that right there. And I'm hoping that it pulls back a little bit because we are so close with the fan, like it's, you know, an eighth. An eighth is not enough. I'm going to just grab a fan belt or a fan hose, a radiator hose, sorry. If I've got one. What I'll do is I'll just stick this on there. This is not the hose for it, but I want to stick it on there. Now I stick it on there. See, that hits it. So if we come back a little bit, I'll tell you. Alrighty. We've got a little bit of an issue going on. When I come this, just a little bit of an issue. If it comes down to it, I would take a little bit off of the fan. What I would do is I draw a little bit off each one. I just take the flapper wheel and knock the fan down a little bit on each one. Just take the same distance off each one. I don't think that would be an issue. But I'm wondering if the radiator leans back a little bit, then leans forward. Because that gives me a quarter of an inch if I lean it back a little bit. It's not hitting the fan, but you know, is it standing up straight like it's supposed to? It's kind of leaned back a little bit, and I don't know if it leaned back or stood up straight. And that's going to be the difference. If you want to come this way here, sweetheart, if you want to come take a look this way. When I'm down, when I'm leaning like this, it's come this way. When you come down, I got just a little tiny bit. When I lean it back, I seem to have a whole bunch more. Or I can loosen up the radiator, loosen that up and pull it up. So let's try that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen off the bolts that we have in the front. It's got a little bit of play there, I think. We're going to loosen it up. I'm going to pull it up a little bit further. All right, you ready? You're going to help me. And that's where it is with this car. That's where it is. Everything is, now I'm going to like that. I'm going to pull it up, and I'm just going to get you to tighten up the.
Okay.
There we go. Tighten up the other side. Just snug, right, so it don't fall. A little tighter. Yeah, a little tighter. I'll go on the other side. Good. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Now, that helped out a lot. That helped out a lot. Now we got the distance.
Awesome.
Got a little bit of play going on in the front. Got a little bit of play going on in the front. That helped out a lot. We're up over top of that. Close to that, close to the line. Wow. What I'm going to say, Jolene, where's your, I don't remember hitting that, but where's your nail polish?
On the cart.
I can't handle it, boys. I got to fix that tick. I got to fix that tick. You would never see that tick, but that tick's getting some black paint. I like the nail polish idea, and the reason being is it dries really fast, and it's got a nice hard coating, obviously, and it's got a hardener in it too, so it dries nice. Jeez, I can't even see it against it. Actually, do I have too much on? They're bubbled out there a little bit. That's better. Can't even see, can you? Perfect. Perfect. Now, that makes me happier about the fan. Now I can work the fan. Let's put the hose back on. This is the way it's going to be with this car the whole time. I can even come down some. Perfect. That's what I needed. And I'm thinking that it's got to go back a little bit. Wow.
What?
How crooked the fan is. See it? Ooh. Is that a little crooked? Whoa. Well, it's got a little bit of flex in it, a little bit of movement in it. That's not good. Look at that thing. I'm not sure what to do there. See, now we're on the back burner again. We've got a fan on it, and it seems to be crookeder than a ram's horn. Not sure if that means anything. Well, sure it does. It's got a little bit of movement in it too. I'm not sure what's going on there, I don't know. So anyways, basically that's what I'm doing. We've got it back on there. We need a hose from that now, would you? The hose would fit if I cut it off. I just pulled that out of there. So that hose would go on that bear. I can cut this hose off at the bottom, fit that on the radiator, and that's going to be a big deal too, is getting everything to fit and not hit that fan. So if this is what happens on projects like this. This is why I get frustrated sometimes. When I get doing a project like this, and you take the time to sandblast a fan, paint it, put it on, and then it is what it is, crooked as a ram's horn there, it looks like to me. It's moving all over the place. I don't know where I dare trust it or not. It's not too bad, I guess. But when you take time like that and you're fitting things together, and then you have to run and try to find something. That's where I like to continue on making stuff and fabricating stuff, because I don't have to run or find or search or do any of that sort of stuff. And when you're doing stuff like this and you want to put a car together and you get going like that, well, that means I got to go try to find a fan somewhere off a Jaguar. And where do I go find a fan off a Jaguar? Where do I run to? Like, do I run to the junkyard over town? Do I run to the junkyard 4 hours away? Do I go back down to Bernie's and get another crooked fan? Like, it's kind of, that's where it's at for me, and that's where I get frustrated, because it's not full-time going forward. When I'm fabricating something, fine, full-time forward. But when you get doing stuff like this, and you need a piece or you need a part, it was like when I was talking to Jolene about the radiator. We could have maybe got a radiator made for the car that fit it perfectly. You know, how long would I have had to wait? How much would it have cost? For me, that's why I'm always grabbing things and making things, because I'm not interested in waiting or running or trying to find or whatever. But this is where I'm at. I've got a fan on there that I'm really not